One, two, three, go.
Waiting for my favorite day of the week. I'm in the sun, but no one sees me. I see, I feel everything around me, while the rest of the world just watches TV. And all I have is enough to get by. Who needs weekends when Thursday on your side? Why can't we both forgive and try a new way? We can both live life like every day is Thursday. And I have enough to get by. Now who needs weekends when Thursday's on your side? And we laugh, and we cry, we hold each other every night. Take a chance, and we can try to live Thursday every single night. And all I have is enough to get by. Who needs weekends when Thursday's on your side?
Namaste, greetings and salutations. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock, and it's Thursday Night Vibes coming to you from the patio with Master Roachee and Caitlin.
Hey.
Caitlin,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm here.
A little bit under the weather, as everybody knows,
Yes.
because you hit no...
I didn't put it on Facebook.
Ah.
It was not me.
Mhm.
I don't care to share such things on Facebook.
But you are recovering.
I am slowly.
Very good. Very good. We are happy that you are here. I am just vibing and grooving tonight. I tell you, we've got a great show. Tonight we don't have any topics. Tonight we don't have any guests. We're just gonna kind of talk about our vibe and kind of how we got to where we are, and if people have any questions, we'd be more than happy to, talk about anything that they would like to talk about too. So it's just going to kind of be a chill show tonight. We've got three great bands that we're going to bring to you, and they've all been on the show in the past. And by the way, that was David Thompson with Thursday on our opening. But we're going to have Sounds of Many. They were very popular. Everybody seemed to love their video. And then we have Feels from Bots World Studio from at the Cookout Volume 1. And then we've got David Thompson's Shadow of You also. So we're going to have, some rock. We're going to have some R&B tonight. We're going to have some,
Cicadas. We're going to have some cicadas tonight.
Goats, chickens, ducks.
Possibly an occasional lawnmower.
Yeah, very possibly. Very possibly. Never know what we're going to get here.
Not when you're outside.
So once again, your week has been filled with adventures.
Well, it wasn't very adventurous until yesterday.
Well, about your wallet?
Oh, yeah. Well, that all happened on Monday. a lot of things happened on Monday, and then it just kind of evened out. Monday morning, I tested positive for COVID.
Right.
Got sent home from work. Took a little nap because I get up early in the morning, so I figured when I got home I'd take a little nap, you know. When I woke up from my nap, I had a text from one of my bosses saying that my wallet was found. And, like, that's really, like, people don't find wallets.
Right.
Or they do find wallets,
Now,
but
people may not understand. How did you lose the wallet in the first place?
I sat it down at a horse show, and basically the next thing I knew, it was gone.
Right.
There was an emergency situation, and when I went back to look for my wallet, it wasn't where I last placed it. It was gone. So, but yeah, so Monday I got a text from my boss saying that my wallet had been turned into the Cloverdale police station, and that I needed to get in touch with Rick Lambert. Once again, thank you, Rick, for handling my personal effects. And he told me once I got there to claim my lost wallet that it had been found behind the Casey's in Cloverdale, which was like nowhere near where I was even at when I was in Cloverdale, which is crazy. And
I know Cloverdale is a massive metropolis.
oh yeah,
One could spend minutes there
Yeah.
and see
Seconds.
everything a couple of times.
oh yeah,
Seconds.
oh yeah.
Next thing you know, you're in and out.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yeah.
Gone in the wind.
But yeah, the Casey's wasn't even by where we were at. But my wallet was found behind the Casey's, and when it was turned in, it still had $17 in it.
Well, very good.
It's pretty amazing.
So, that is great. You got your IDs and stuff back, and they did leave you a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So
I really didn't want to have to go get a new ID, because that's a big pain in the butt going to get a new ID. To be honest, I really didn't. I put it off. I did not go get a new one for over a week. And it's a good thing I didn't, because now I have my wallet again and I don't need a new ID.
Well, that is good. I'm glad that turned out well for you.
Well, like, none of my cards or anything were gone. Just the only thing I was missing was about $60, which, I mean, all I wanted was my stuff back. I didn't really care about the money.
Right. And then you got bit or
stung or something. Yesterday, I was pulling weeds. Yeah.
You gonna pull weeds without gloves again?
Probably.
Nah, probably.
I don't usually get stung.
No. And generally, if you wear gloves when you pull weeds, you won't get stung. Or bit.
He makes a fair point.
Well, I know, but you don't think about such things. You just start pulling.
Like a planning. Doesn't have her day planned out.
No, I wasn't planning on pulling weeds. I was just outside getting some fresh air, and I decided, I'll pull some of these weeds.
I can understand that.
Make the outside of my house look a little bit better. And then I got stung, and I was like, man, maybe I shouldn't have pulled the weeds.
Well, we've got some kind of good news. we finally have our stuff worked out on Amazon, and it should be up and searchable and everything by Saturday. But we had a couple of issues, so we kind of went back through the process. But we're going to be rocking on Amazon, so that is really cool. And don't forget to catch our replays and older shows and some different stuff on our YouTube channel. And of course, do you know who sponsors this wonderful, wonderful show?
I think I do, but I'm not going to tell you.
Right. Because, you never know what the hell's going to come out of your mouth.
I don't care to tell you.
Fine. Well, I will tell the fine people. Master Roachee's Garden. MasterRoachee'sGarden.com sponsors this wonderful show.
Give your nephew a shout out. JR is
Hey,
watching.
JR.
From Joliet.
Thank you, from Joliet.
Illinois.
Thank you very much for tuning in. But check out our website. We've got all kinds of neat stuff going on. We've got beard oils. We've got our tinctures. We've got our merchandise. You can pick up a Master Roachee t-shirt, grinder, and don't forget our original rolling tray.
It's just Roscoe.
Oh, I was like, there's a random dog.
We know this
It's
dog.
the neighbor's dog.
I was
We
like,
know this
He
dog.
comes over and hangs out.
I was like, who did it? What is this?
We're having animals visit us, but yeah, he's friends with all of our cats too.
Hey.
So, yep,
He's very,
Nero and him
he's,
touched
he's
noses
a little
last
ugly,
time out
but
here.
he's really sweet.
That's rude.
But not only are we on Amazon, you can check us out on Mr. CBD of Chicago.
Hi, baby.
And a big shout out to Mark Kunicki, who will be coming on our show here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh.
Oh,
I needed some Gatorade.
I tell you, Mark's great.
coming to see
Mark's great. He is a dynamo, a type A personality. Go. But the man is incredible.
Karma B says,
I can't-
good evening.
Can't wait until we have him on. And then next week, Pierre Davis from Euphoria Eats is going to be here.
I love Pierre.
We all love Pierre. He's a great guy. He's got great products. Just couldn't ask for a more beautiful person. I mean, he's
Anybody
just fantastic.
Anybody that makes sauces is a man after my heart.
Say hello to Karma ZB.
Hey, Karma! Thank you for tuning in. I am glad you made it. Very happy you made it. Do you know how this company actually started? Do you know what was behind the whole thing?
Kind of, but why don't you enlighten the folks?
Well, the original idea is we wanted to be a craft growing company and grow connoisseur grade cannabis. You know, finally grown, dried, aged, cured, and that was kind of the goal. But being in a prohibition state, that was a no-go from the start.
Right.
But that was the original idea, and hopefully at some point we can get back to our original roots and grow these strains.
Right. I do recall.
A big shout out to my buddy Vaporizer Steve. I'm enjoying his Onsen Lab vaporizer. So definitely look him up. He's on Facebook, Instagram. Great machine. So anyway, the Master Roachee thing came about from work. I was working with some guys, and well, between my sunglasses and my Hawaiian shirts and this, they started calling me Master Roachee. Kind of in fun behind my back. Well, once I heard about this and figured out who he was, because I'd never even heard of him,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I can deal with this. And then when we started getting into the idea of the company, we're sitting out around the campfire, and they were teasing me. I said, no. Actually, it's Master Roachee. And it's like, yeah.
Right. Sometimes ideas just happen upon us.
So that's kind of how the name came about. And then the rest of it, well, this is kind of how I dress when I'm anywhere but at work.
Yeah,
Or
pretty
at
much.
least the day job.
For the most part.
And then, of course, the top hat.
Yeah.
That came from Mama Roachee. We were down in Little Nashville, Indiana, and we went to a few shops. Actually, you know what? Let's take a little musical break.
Sure.
Are you even going to finish the story?
No,
He's going to finish the story after the break.
This is what they call a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're all waiting in suspense.
I know. Everybody is sitting on the edge of their seats. They can't wait for the story to be finished. So let's hear the sounds of Minnie.
Hit us with it, Way.
Yep.
Hey, welcome back. That was the Sounds of Many, brought to us by Brian from Stereo Bus Productions.
I knew that.
You knew that.
Yeah.
You knew that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I don't think you knew that.
I did. They're the ones with the cool music video.
Right. But you knew they were from Stereo Bus Productions?
Yeah.
All right.
I knew they weren't from the Cookout Volume 1.
But you can't figure out who sponsors the show.
No, I know. I just don't care to say.
Oh, fine. Fine. Caitlin, the talent. Anyway, I was about to tell you about the hat. Now, the hat we found in a little town called Little Nashville, Indiana, or Nashville, Indiana. And we'd been to several shops, and Mama Roachee had managed to get a couple of really nice leather purses. And
To the tune of about $500.
anyway, we were in this one place, and I'd found one hat that I kind of liked, and she saw this. And she wanted me to try it on, so I put the thing on, and I wasn't impressed. I really didn't care for it, and definitely wasn't interested in spending the money on it that they were asking. And you see how that worked out.
Yep, she made you get it.
Yes, she did. I really didn't have a choice in the matter. So the one thing I did find is it would stay on when I was riding the bike. So that was kind of cool. I could go to some of these rides and stuff with in the top hat would stay on. But short of that, I really had no use for it.
Oh.
But then when we started putting the company together, I don't know. It just kind of happened. The top hat and the sunglasses and
Yeah, but you wore it all the time for special occasions.
right. Well, for special occasions I did, but my other glasses have the transition blue lenses in them.
Yes.
So that it kind of worked out well, but it nothing of it was planned. That was for darn sure. And but it's been fun. It's been fun. But the thing that we've always been interested in, and has been and kind of the underline of the whole thing, is the belief that we can get healthier through plant-based medicine. That was been a big belief of mine for a long, long time. It's a dog.
No, the duck.
Oh, the duck.
The dog's looking at the duck.
All right. And wanting to put out this message of peace, love, and good vibes. It's really and that's the way we live. It's not just something we say.
Accurate.
We want positive vibes around us. We want to help influence the people and area around us with our vibes.
Yeah.
A lot of bad juju out there.
And people are just plain nasty.
Yeah. They are. For no reason.
Yeah.
Be kinder to your fellow human.
Really.
And if you're nice, you can brighten one person's day.
That's it. And if you can brighten one person's day, and that person can brighten one person's day, it just kind of spreads, I grew up with the talking of the age of Aquarius, peace, truth, and understanding. And man, we've made some great strides in some directions, but we've really blown it in others.
Live and let live.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I thought you'd have a wise sage thought.
Such as?
Such as, why did I think that?
I don't know. Sometimes I think you just...
Word vomit?
Yeah. Sometimes I think he just talks and lets whatever come out of his mouth, and if it sounds good, he goes with I just listen.
Much of the time, that's true.
I just listen.
I was wanting to know if you had any thoughts on the WV.
WV. Word vomit.
Yeah. No thoughts whatsoever.
Oh no.
None.
I just try. Oh, okay. So, like, you were talking about. I just try to be nice to people, no matter what, is what I try to do. Even if they're being horrible to me, I just try to be nice to everybody. Even if they're screaming and yelling at me.
Which is often.
No, it's not super often, but
Just kill them with kindness.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I read a post on Facebook that I can't remember the exact post, but to paraphrase, it was my God is great. The rest of your gods are silly or non-existent, and this is so true. This is so true, and not just about gods, but political parties and other things. Where my God exists, my God is great, and your God is made up. And
where are you going with this?
I'm going more that I think all religions are good if they teach good moral values, love, peace, sharing, and just treating each other correctly. I'm more of a universalist. I'm actually more of a Taoist, but yeah, I don't look down or put down any other religions. I think they're all good. They're all meaningful for people.
I like to think. Quit looking at me.
That was my fault.
Why? What? Why was it your fault?
Your phone beeping.
Why'd you make my phone beep?
It was an accident.
I like to think
Yes.
that everybody chooses their own religion based off of their own personal needs. And no, you shouldn't knock one other person for what they choose to believe in or don't believe in. It's what they need at that time.
All right. Well, I grew up in a very Christian household. I got a God and Country Award, from the Boy Scouts, and that was a deal with the church. And later on, I became a deacon. But I also, read a lot about other religions and Eastern philosophies and so many other things that really got me to thinking that they all teach similar principles. Which ones, really resonate with you and make sense in your life? And, maybe God, the universe, or whatever, presented these all to mankind for them to understand a universal truth, but through different teachers.
Right.
You might not like one kind of movie, I might like another, but they teach the same lesson.
Right. Right.
So I mean, but that's kind of the background and the culture of our company is, want to share this love and understanding and harmony. Let's start talking about truth, beauty, and understanding. Let's bring back truth, beauty, and understanding. And you're going, what is that?
No. I hear what you're saying. I'm just thinking about animism.
Anna,
Animism.
yes. Well, tell me about that.
Because I was thinking about. I was raised Christian as well. Not really a specific type of Christian because I went to so many different kinds of churches growing up. But, Christian in general. But now my beliefs align more with something that resembles animism. Animism is basically the thought that everything has feelings. But I think of it as everything has its own energy.
Oh yeah.
And all the energies are connected.
Yeah, there's the web of life.
Yeah.
And it's a game that used to be played at camps.
Right.
and you would take all these strings and you'd string them between the trees and the flowers and the grasses and all of this and the bugs and the birds and the animals. And then as you would lose, you know, something like that, you would cut that string, and you would find that it doesn't take much for everything to collapse.
Yeah.
And I absolutely believe that, you know, spirit and energy flows through everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything living.
Yeah.
And it should be respected and treated right. I mean, you know, let's face it, we can't outlaw everything. We have needs, but we can be good stewards, you know, in meeting the needs that we have, and also preserving the life and the energy around us.
Right. Right. It's also how I process death. I know everybody processes death differently, but that's how I process death as well, because like you learn in science class that energy cannot be created or destroyed.
Right.
And like
It
inside
can
these
just be transformed.
yeah, inside these skulls that we have going on are a bunch of electrical impulses. Those electrical impulses don't just disappear once we die. That energy has to go somewhere.
Yes, I agree.
So,
and some people call that
energy's
energy the
transformed.
soul, and you know, there's many different terms for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that opens up the door to a lot of different
Yeah.
different things.
But yeah, so that energy can't just like stop. It has to go somewhere. It has to be transferred somewhere. Go somewhere.
Go somewhere. I agree. I agree. Now, if we want to kind of get into crazy theories, what if all of these UFOs people see are not from outer space?
What you mean?
Which means that people have figured out how to travel between dimensions.
Oh gosh. I think that. I think I've been to different dimensions. I don't know if I've ever explained that. I think I've transversed.
Well, they say you
Dimensions.
dream interdimensionally.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm just thinking that maybe some culture had figured out how to travel within dimensions.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the new way of looking at history.
Right.
Where you load people into a craft or whatever, and they can go interdimensionally and, you know, look at different histories.
Well, you know about the Mandela effect, right?
Mm-hmm. But some people haven't. Would you like to tell them?
Okay, so the Mandela effect is like you and a large group of people remembering things being one way, and them when you actually go back and look at it, it's different. So like my favorite example is the Berenstain Bears, because that's the way I remember it, with Steen spelled Stein. Well, now it's the Berenstain Bears. Stain.
It was IEN.
No, it's A. See, Mandela effect affecting Mom too.
Mm-hmm.
It was Berenstain Bears when we were kids.
No, it's Berenstain Bears.
But when we were kids, it was the Berenstain Bears.
No,
IEN.
that's a Mandela effect. It's a Mandela effect, Mom. You could look it up.
Okay.
Mandela effect. Waylon knows what I'm talking about. He's just being quiet back there.
I'm not saying a word.
That was a word.
Well, Waylon,
I'm expressing that I'm not saying any more further.
It's called the Mandela effect because a bunch of people remember Nelson Mandela dying when he was in prison, and he really died in 2013.
Yep.
And then a lot of people remember him dying when he was in prison in the 90s, but then it came out in 2013 that he had just passed away. Not in prison. That's why it's called the Mandela effect, because that was the first instance of it happening.
Well, why don't we break for feels?
Feels, yes, feels.
Feels. From Bot's World Studio, off of the
The Cookout, Volume 1.
very, very good. So the
You shut it. Shush.
Wait, what was that
Shush.
comment again?
He said lick the tasties.
Waylon, give us
Which
those
sounds
lickety tasties.
Too much like lick the testes.
Or pasties.
For once, I will agree with Kate on that. On that. That is one thing I can agree with. Be proud of that because that will probably be the only first and
Yeah,
last time.
psh.
Tell me how you feel, 'cause you know the passion's burning for you. Oh, oh. Tell me, can you see it's the man that you once know me to be? But I'm still going back and forth between emotions. We should be on the same page, but right now I got feels for you. Something about you and how you move. And you know it's true. You make me feel for you. If I don't fall in love, baby, I'm a fool. But I'll be for you. Oh, baby, I won't do. Drive me crazy, girl, what I can do. Without my boo, like you. This crazy feeling, girl, I'm in the mood. What I would do, it's like my mind is in the clouds, I'm flowing. Stargazing my love, I'm glowing. Look at my love, I hold for you. It's one for you. Got the feels for you. Something about you and how you move. You know it's true. The way you make me feel for you. If I don't fall in love, baby, I'm a fool. But I'll be for you, oh, baby. I got the feels for you. Something about you and how you move. You know it's true. The way you make me feel for you. If I don't fall in love, baby, I'm a fool. But I'll be for you. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. You know, my own personal experience with us transversing into an alternate dimension. We were all out to eat one time. I don't know if you recall this. We were out, Mom knows, because we were out with Katie Hoke. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
I had gotten cottage cheese with my meal, and Luke got the soup. And first of all, Luke doesn't like vegetables, and he got vegetable soup, which I had never known him to like vegetable soup. And he took a couple bites of it, and he wasn't really feeling it. And then he asked me for my cottage cheese, which he did not like cottage cheese. Mom,
Ever.
You remember my whole meltdown about it. I was like, Luke doesn't like cottage cheese, and I was freaking out at the table. I was like, oh my god, I have transversed into an alternate dimension. So I am not in my original dimension. I am in a different dimension than I was originally in, because my dimension, Luke doesn't like cottage cheese, and he likes cottage cheese in this dimension.
I don't know if you quite fit into any dimension.
And then it turned out you were in a dream.
No, that actually happened.
No, and there was a whole freak out over it. Mom remembers, because I made a whole big deal about it. I was like, you don't like cottage cheese? I was like, what is this? And he's like, I love cottage cheese. I've always loved cottage cheese. And I was like, what? I was like, no, 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 no.
Well, I think the two books that have influenced a lot of my thinking was one is the Tao of Pooh by Benjamin Hoff, and that is a wonderful, wonderful book for anybody that wants to understand the basis of Dallas without a boring read. It's done through the Winnie the Pooh characters. And the other one was the Celestine Prophecy. And that one really got me thinking, and it kind of ties into the dimensional stuff too. But everybody that you meet, you have a message for, and they have a message for you
Right.
to move forward. But you just have to understand when these connections are happening, and and share the message. And I really, really believe that's that, and it may come from shifts in dimensions,
Right.
because my dimension, your dimension, Waylon's and Mama Roachee's are all different dimensions. We just kind of squish and move in and intermingle, and then sometimes pull apart, sometimes combine. Uh, but it's very interesting because we do walk our own path. We do have the ability to change your life and do whatever you want.
Right.
And that's actively going on, because I'm certainly not the same person I was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
I like to think that we shift through these slightly alternate dimensions with our set soul groups. And soul groups is a whole nother thing.
Right. So, but as you can see, we're very grounded in and just accepting everybody, and understanding, and knowing that we each have our own path, and we fully believe that you can be anything you want to be. Anything that you set your mind to,
Oh yeah.
you can accomplish.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we've come a long way since the inception of this in a very short period of time.
Oh yeah.
And it's a belief, and that I mean, it's more than just a belief; it's a drive to do this
Right.
now. Really looking forward to bringing everybody these botanical mixtures. It just takes a while, folks, to get formulations and get them correct, and all, and not to mention sometimes it's a little hard finding some of the supplies.
Oh yeah.
So
Most definitely.
we got some cool stuff around the bend to go in our products, and starting in September, this is kind of big news. We are or Camden Sawyer, a company from the UK, is going to start promoting our products for Airbnbs, for hotels. So the Master Roachee line will be available on hotelsupplies.com.
Cool.
And yeah, we're really happy, and we also, if we can figure out the international shipping stuff, may be coming to Europe.
That's nifty.
So, keep an eye out. Don't be surprised in the future when you stay at a hotel that you don't find Master Roachee products.
Nifty. Nifty.
So, Master Roachee's Garden is what?
What?
The sponsor of this program.
Oh.
And one of the great things that you can find is the Master Roachee beard oil. And I'm telling you, this stuff is not just for beards. It's just called beard oil. But the blends of oils in this are great for hair, skin. We have people using this for all kinds of different stuff. Check it out on our website, and I tell you, I love it. It's I've gone through a lot of different beard oils, and we formulated this one, and it has just worked great.
Oh yeah.
You use it on your hair, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, you ask me that every time, and I do.
Yes. I use it on my hair too. Long flowing locks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I went back in time there for a few minutes.
Oh, I guess. Just shifted into a different dimension for a second, huh?
Just for a second. Just for
Back
a
to
second.
the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 70s, 80s. Yeah.
He had that David Cassidy feather going on.
Uh-huh. Parted down the middle and feathered to infinity.
It'd be interesting.
Have you never seen a picture of young Matt with hair?
No.
Does not
Oh,
look
Matt
like
had-
does not
Matt
look
had the
like
pretty
the
blonde
same
feathers.
person. He had blonde hair. Blonde hair. Blonde hair.
Okay.
Actually, it was more of strawberry blonde.
Strawberry blonde, because he's red.
Yeah, there was the red in
But
it.
it was he had the feathers going down both sides and along.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huh.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think I could almost do that now.
And look at me now.
You can't even imagine what he looked like, because the pictures of him don't look like him. They do, but they don't. It's like,
Then there's the theory of the pod people.
What?
Middle
What?
Earthers.
Middle Earthers.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah, there is so much stuff that we could get into. But, yeah,
Well, think about the Middle Earther. Me and you talked about this.
right.
The whole Middle Earther thing. Our bodies weren't suited for this environment. I mean, think about it. We wear clothes. We use air conditioning. We weren't suited for this environment. But on Middle Earth, it's a controlled environment. Oh, yeah.
So this is like a penal colony that our civilization had. You know, that people were kicked out of Middle Earth. So, kicked out of the garden.
This
Indigata
reminds me.
Vita, baby.
This reminds me of that one Star Trek episode where there's the people in the clouds, and then there's the they called them troglodytes.
No, troglodytes.
Yeah.
We're the troglodytes.
Actually,
they mind?
Actually, the troglodytes, the Trogs, were a great late '60s band.
But you know which episode I'm talking about, where they were in the mine because they were like considered the lower species.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get to live in the clouds up in the higher civilization.
Right. Well, that's not so much different now, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of people that are living, scraping by day to day, and then we have many people that don't really care about the cost of gas because they can buy, electric vehicles, and whatever else because, this inflation and stuff isn't bothering them.
Yeah.
So there is the divide is widening.
Us poor middle class people get hurt the
Yeah,
most.
well, I don't even know if there is a middle class
I'm hurting.
anymore. I don't.
I low-key just changed my bank password so my cash advances won't come out tomorrow so I can pay my bills.
Oh my God.
Life tips!
Life tips from poor Katie.
Yes, Katie is available as a life coach. You can DM me if you really want her. We can work something out, but she is available as a life coach. Well, why don't we get to David's song?
Yes, Waylon.
Well,
Don't say it.
Would you like to introduce David's song?
What is it called? Shadow of You? Shadow of You? Is that what it was called?
That is
Your
what it's called.
shadow.
Your Shadow?
Your shadow.
Okay, I thought you said Shadow of You earlier. Pardon
I
me.
didn't say that.
Matt said
Pardon
that.
me. Your
I said nothing
Shadow.
of the sort.
Your Shadow by David Thompson.
Tried so hard, couldn't get it right. Went from something to nothing, record time. I'm just a friend now, and I pretend I don't care. I'm just a shadow. I'm just a shadow, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just a There's a place for the shadow in your life. Lately I've good all the time. It might be big, but it's better by your side. When your phone rings, it brings pain. It's 5 or 10, everything might change, and I'm a shadow. I'm just a shadow, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just a flicker in her eyes now. There's a place for the shadow in your life. Lately the roads have changed. And exactly what I gave. And that's a shadow. I'm just a shadow, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just a flicker in her eyes now. There's a place for the shadow in your life. In your life. In your life.
That was Your Shadow by David Thompson.
One of my favorite David Thompson songs.
A shorty but a goodie. Sometimes the short ones are the best.
Wouldn't know.
No comment.
Some of the stuff that you come up with is worse than the stuff that I come up with.
I was thinking, like, you know, like an oldie but a goodie.
Oldie but a goodie.
A shorty but a goodie.
Ah.
Was my thought process.
But
Y'all get your minds out of the gutters.
You're the one that put it there.
I didn't put your mind nowhere, buddy.
But when we talk about peace, love, and good vibes, that really reflects, you know, the heart and the soul of the company. And we're making sure that when we work with other people, you know, they kind of agree with our philosophy. The people that are coming into the company, you know, believe that also that, you know, there's so much that unites us that, you know, it's silly to be doing all this crazy infighting.
Yeah.
You know, we just need smart people to be able to sit down and have good conversations and listen to the other side. And I still encourage everybody to go out, meet your neighbor, meet new people, share different experiences, because without that that exchange, you just stay in the same place on that treadmill constantly. And you gotta grow, you gotta understand, you gotta expand your understanding.
Yeah. I can't remember what movie it's from, but I'd like to quote a movie. It's one of my favorite quotes. I use it quite frequently.
But yet you don't know where it's from.
I can't remember which movie it's from, but I've heard it quite a few times, and it's, "Can't we all just get along?"
Actually, that's not from a movie.
Is it from a TV show?
No.
What's it from?
That is from the Rodney King incident
Mm-hmm.
back in the early 90s.
Rodney King, yeah, I think it was the early 90s.
Or the mid 90s. And Reginald Denny, and they both got the snot beat out of them. And
Shane Anderson said,
yeah,
I'm a longie and a biggie.
Oh, good heavens.
Shane, that's wonderful to hear. Glad you shared that.
Look what you've done, Caitlin.
We need more.
Look what you've done.
Yep. Thank you for Caitlin. And again,
I'm not the one
Yes.
that said, lick the testes.
No, but what Matt
I
said.
didn't say that either.
Matt
but
didn't say it
why
either.
are you saying it?
He didn't say it.
It sounded like he
It
said
sounded
it.
like it. There's a difference.
He said tasty lickies or licky tasties or whatever he said.
Something.
Once again, I didn't put your
You
minds in the
influenced
gutter. It's your own fault.
Influence.
Can't we
Influence.
all just get along?
But yes, that was Reginald Denny's and Rodney King's plea, and it still stands true today. There is no reason for violence. We can have change through nonviolence.
Yeah.
That's been shown so many times, and it's much more effective.
Yeah.
Nonviolent change is by far the best. Look what Martin Luther King did. Look what Gandhi did, just for a couple of examples. And you know, that's the way we should be handling things. We shouldn't be having violence in the street. There's
No.
just no call for it.
No. I feel like as a society we've risen above the violence at this point in time. I mean, but then you got these people that go wackadoodle.
Well, yeah, and you got the people that are feeding them the garbage that makes them go wackadoodle.
You just gotta stop and clear your
Yeah.
mind for a minute and
Well,
think, is this really what I want to do?
All the hate on all sides has just got to stop. It can't continue. We got to stop
Well,
the
didn't
hate.
we have this discussion about losing friends and family over political views as well?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we-
political,
yeah,
we have that
religious
Quite
views,
frequently.
and it's sad.
It should be I can respect our differences and move
Right.
forward even though we have differences.
Yes.
I may not agree with it, but help me understand it at least.
Yeah.
Instead of shutting me out.
Yeah.
Explain to me, educate me.
Well, in this country was that was our big thing was debate.
Yeah.
Debate. And that's all gone out the window.
But now it's either you're with me or you're against
You're with me or you're against me, and it
Yes.
doesn't need to be that way.
If I'm ever ignorant about something, I would rather somebody just educate me than belittle me.
Well,
Because that's-
we'll take a week and work on this.
Okay, never mind. I can see why people use excessive violence. Never mind.
I've been in a couple of situations like that. It's like,
Because,
there's
because ignorance is
rude.
lack of knowledge.
Well, I was talking and you cut him off.
Rude. No, go
No,
ahead.
continue,
No.
Waylon.
Nope. Nope.
I'm gonna turn the camera around if you don't
But
stop.
no,
I'll
Waylon, go
quickly
ahead.
end it.
Waylon, go ahead. Waylon said he's been in many situations
I've
like
been in a
that.
couple situations where like there's something I didn't know, and I get shamed for it, and it's like, okay, I didn't know,
Right.
so
Yeah.
tell me, and then they don't say anything, and I'm like, okay, then that's basically it. But I mean, it's like, okay, whatever. I guess.
Educate me or
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
educate me, don't belittle me, yeah. That's what, and ignorance is just lack of knowledge. It's not lack of intelligence. It's just you weren't well enough informed on the subject and somebody belittled you for not knowing, which isn't what you should do.
Yeah. So open yourself up to different experiences and different people and learn. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. We're all individuals. We're all beautiful people. We all have a message for each other. And if we can keep those messages positive, it will benefit everyone.
Yes, I believe so.
Well, would you like to say goodnight, Kate?
Good night, guys.
And as always, peace, love, good vibes. Good night, everyone.
Friend,